Wife has a pregnant 99, sure she pulled the goalie without telling me. Fill your fridge with cake. And every time she goes for a slice, run into the room and smash it out of her hand with an angry look in your eyes. Link. Speaking from experience, my wife pulled the same thing. Fast forward 2 years. I'm still with her. I love the kid to death. But second guess a lot of things my wife tells me. Anytime the issue of having more kids comes up, which I'm now firmly opposed to as a result of the way the first one came about, I get angry. I will tell you what will happen to you. If you stay with her, you will love the kid. You may even begin to trust her again to some degree, but the seed of distrust has already been planted. It is entirely her fault, for it as being married means you discuss life-changing decisions and come to an agreement before acting on them, which she did not do. What you cannot afford to do is blame the kid for anything. I, at one point, thought that I would see the kid and it would be a living reminder of her lying to me, but luckily I do not feel that way anymore. I cannot tell you whether or not to end the marriage, as that is something you two have to decide. Will you ever completely trust her again? Maybe. Who knows? There are couples where a spouse cheats on the other and they make it through, though the trust may take a while to come back. What I can say is that if you decide to stay, you will need someone to talk to about this, because you do not want to carry that anger around. We were able to work though out of it, but some still lingers. I'm guessing you will go through something similar. One thing is for sure, you do not want to end up raging one day as a result of all of this shit and ending up doing something stupid. Either way, at this point you are fortunately or unfortunately responsible for another life. That is something you will definitely have to come to terms with. P.S. Sorry for the disjointedness of this post. This exact thing happened to a friend of mine. He thought that he and his wife had agreed to wait, but little did he know his own mother was telling his wife that men do not know what they want. You have to make that decision for him. Well, anyway, it has been 4 years, and he loves the kid and his wife, but it almost ruined their marriage. Even after the baby was born, he would say stuff like love the kid, cannot stand the bitch. But in time that anger faded. Sometimes we make terrible mistakes, but you would be surprised what a relationship can survive if you wanted to. My advice would be to support her during this pregnancy. It is easy to fall into depression and she is carrying your child, but please start seeing a counselor. Your wife did a terrible thing by taking away your right to a choice. You are the only one who knows. If you can forgive her, do not stay with her. If you cannot, but do not make that decision rashly. I cannot tell the OP to end the marriage or stay with her, but I will say that OP should definitely make sure that it is abundantly clear how disappointed and hurt you are by what she has done. Before doing anything, I would say definitely see a professional, so that if OP2S decide to leave, there is evidence that an attempted reconciliation was made. But from what I understand, that helps in court, which is where this would probably end up, unfortunately. During her pregnancy, I was probably the least helpful I could possibly have been. What is worse was that it was intentional. I acted like a jerk and offered little support, unless she literally begged me to do something. Of course, this was all out of anger and hurt. With the exception of being unfaithful, I probably pulled just about every spiteful douche move possible. It really was childish and useless, but you do not think about that when you are fueled by those types of emotions. Looking back, I'm honestly surprised that she did not pack up and leave, which she later confessed to me that she thought about doing several times. At one point had to have a family member talk her out of it, but she stuck it out. I, like OP, felt like she was completely changing my life for the worse. There were a lot of things that I wanted to do, or at least thought I wanted to do, but could not specifically name what those things were or when I wanted them to happen. The idea that the option to do irresponsible and or risky stuff and simply shake off the consequences were off the table, and I felt robbed. Who cared if, realistically, I probably would not be doing a lot of things that was taken away. Now, I realize that this is not completely true. I can still do things, but it takes a bit more planning. Unfortunately, it took me nearly 2 years from the beginning of the pregnancy to begin to realize this. All of that said, you are justified in feeling the way you feel right now. You have been betrayed. maybe even trapped. You probably have some right to act out to a certain degree. I cannot condemn it as I did the same thing. What I will say is that, like the guy above me stated, try not to make any decisions right now about anything, as you are probably not in the best frame of mind to do so. Again, you and her should talk with a professional, and I cannot stress enough that it should be a professional, as family members are not always the most unbiased moderators. Good luck with everything. Handy guide. I do not want kids ever. I might want kids someday. I do not know if I want kids. I want kids. I want kids later. I want kids now. I want kids now. I'm pregnant. I cannot believe the people that are saying that she had the right to do what she did. If she was not happy with your decision, then she should have found someone who wanted the same things that she does. She had no right to intentionally trump your choice and betray your trust. This is a large indicator of how she will make choices in the future. And she destroyed your trust. Mid-20s. The perfect time to travel and enjoy one another. I may be selfish too, but there is plenty of time to have children and enjoy them. This is a perfect time to discover what the world is about before you anchor yourself, your career, and your priorities to children. I feel bad for you. She had no right to intentionally trump your choice and betray your trust. This is a large indicator of how she will make choices in the future. And she destroyed your trust. She could have waited for him to decide to want kids instead of bringing a human into the world under very unideal conditions. Already indicates that she may not be a good parent if she is willing to have a kid when the father said he did not want it. How is she certain he won't divorce her? Her actions show a lack of respect for what he wants. Oh, he desires his current lifestyle, but you know what? Mine is more important. That is how much I love him. I will ruin his life for my needs. Do you really want to stay married to that? If she is willing to ruin your life, what the hell else is she capable of doing? A few years down the line he may realize that this kid is the best thing that has ever happened to him, but at the moment she knew what she did would be interpreted by him as ruining his life. Duck Jude. You are scaring me. My fiance and I had always agreed we do not see kids in our future, and recently she is been talking about babies and names for kids and shit. This is ducked. This is a serious, horrible betrayal. I can only imagine, I'm a woman, how I would feel if my partner messed with my birth control so that I got pregnant without my consent. I would certainly consider it worth divorcing over. It shows a fundamental disrespect of my right to make my own decisions. Has she done things unilaterally when she did not like your answer about some decision that had to be made before? This is the first time, to my knowledge. Up until this point, our relationship has been like walking on a cloud. We do not even raise voices at each other. We talk everything out. Until now, we have always treated each other with respect, trust, and love. To put it simply, you did not give her the answer she wanted, so she took matters into her own hands. There is not another explanation. Personally, if I was walking in your shoes, I would have called counsel already. You may love her, but she is trying to fill one pant leg with two legs, and now you have another pair of unplanned legs on the way. I'm an ass, but I hate being ducked around. Excuse the following, but it tends to hold true. History repeats itself. Cringe as I roll. Having kids is difficult, even if you want them. I do not envy your position, and would frankly resent your wife for a long time. Sorry, cannot help it. She has most certainly stolen something from you. You should still be a good father though. However, if I were you, I would review my marriage.